All right, we are live, and I'm so excited today to have my friend Esther Jones hop on this podcast and also stream live into my Life Transformed Facebook group because this message, her story, oh my God! So this is so cool. This is what I love about social media, is that you can connect with so many different people from around the world, and if you are a good listener, the stories that you will hear, what you will learn, the people you will connect with will enrich your life, will enrich your wisdom with their life experiences. And as soon as Esther and I got on the phone, I was like, oh my God, I have to have you on my podcast because your story is absolutely incredible. Now, she's an author now, but I'm going to let her share her story with you because it is so impactful and it hits home for me as somebody that was a musician in the entertainment industry. Growing up, I started singing professionally when I was 7, and did that all the way through. And I actually gave it up when I was 23. I made a decision to not follow through with something that I was really, really passionate about. So Esther, this really does hit home for me. And I'd love for you to introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about you and your background. And then let's get into the nitty gritty of this conversation because it's a good one.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm a people lover, so I get excited easy. My name is Esther Jones. I got started in the entertainment industry when I was 19, at the tender, I always say naive age of 19. And I started out as working for the rapper, as you know him, Nelly. I started as an internship in St. Louis, Missouri. I seen Nelly on the big screen, and like every other high school, we love the celebrities. So I seen him, and I was like, he's so handsome. That's my husband. I had all his pictures on my wall. And I called his auntie and was like, I need to work for the company. She probably thinking I'm like 28, I'm only 19. I didn't even go to college. I went to Nelly school. So then
wow.
I got 6 big Greyhound. I got 6 big suitcase bags and got on the Greyhound with one-way ticket to St. Louis, Missouri.
And wow. So I just want to ask, so you're just like, I got to work for this guy. Like, how did you get the opportunity to do that? Because I'm sure there's a bunch of 19-year-olds that want to go work for.
Yeah, I always say it was God's favor because I called his auntie. They had 2 nonprofit organizations at the time. One was for Kids, where he does charity work for the children in the hospitals with cancer, with leukemia. So it's an awesome thing they were doing for years. And then he had this energy drink called Pimp Juice. I don't know if y'all remember that. And then he had apple bottom jeans, clothing.
Yes.
So there was like so much going on that I could work. And I was like, I'm only 19. I could do an intern, to get into this entertainment life, see just how to get to celebrity.
Wow. So you persisted until you got the job.
Oh my God, I was so persistent. even when they told me that I couldn't do it anymore, I was like, I'm still gonna do it.
Right? I know. I'm one of those people too. I'm like, I dare you to tell me that I can't, right?
Oh yeah, and then I'm 19, so I'm like, if you tell me I can't, I'm gonna do it even more.
That's right. Okay, so you get your dream job. You're working for Nelly. You're like, I can't believe this is my life. And how did this unfold? What did you start to notice in the industry? What experience did you have?
I started to notice the bias against women.
Right, and so let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Basically, so with the building was called Nelly Inc. And under the umbrella, it was a lot going on. Apple bottoms, Pimp Juice, For Show for Kids, Just Us for Jackie. His sister had needed a bone marrow transplant. They were doing that. But outside of that, when I would go to the clubs and when I would meet other celebrities, I met Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. I met DJ Quick. I met Maya, the singer. I met Drew Hill. You can name, y'all. Everybody you name, T.I., everybody you name, I met them, except for Janet. I never met. Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson. Those people. Everybody else, I probably met or went to party with or had dinner with. But after I started meeting all these people, the managers and people, DJs would come to me, and it would be weird because it's like, okay, I know you, But then it's like the after parties. They would invite me to the after parties because I was pretty. But then all of a sudden, everybody would be smoking weed. We're all around people doing cocaine, and different people are leaving the girls, that they just met, the groupies, with different people. And I'm like, okay, now I'm left alone in a room with the guy. So but I'm young, so I'm not kind of understanding what's going on. They're used. They do this every other night on tour. So that's what started happening. It started to get where if you want more promotion, if you want this type of job, then go with this manager in the room over this type of event, and you can get paid. So it started to happen. That would happen even to this day. That's what's happening right now, especially for women.
And having this conversation, because so I went to school for music, and I took this music business class. I told you this story, and you validated what was true, because it's so interesting. I got this information, I thought, and I made a decision based on it. And then years later, I was like, was that stupid? Should I have pursued, like making this decision based on my morals? And so what happened was, I went to university for music. I took a music business class, and the first day of class, we show up and there's 60 kids in the class, right? But there's only room for 28. And he laughs and he's like, of course, you guys all want to know about the music business. You want to know what to do and whatever. And he sits you down and point blank. And I do appreciate the honesty of this though, but it was like a dagger to the heart. And he said, one of you out of this, by the way, out of this whole room of 60 kids, there's going to be 15 that are here at the end of the year that have done the entire course. Everybody else is going to drop out. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And out of those 15 that are left at the end of the year, one of them is going to make it in the music industry and going to make it as a living, and like not even make it big like Nelly, but like actually be able to pay their bills, right? From being a musician. And so I was like, okay, well, at least I'm going to increase my odds, and I will be standing as one of those 15 at the end of the year, right? So I definitely made it to the end of the year. But one of the conversations, and there were people that walked out, there were people that never went to class after this lesson. And he said, if you are a female, you have to be willing to sleep your way to the top. You look at all of these big, huge females, Celine Dion, Shania Twain, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, they all dated their managers, right? So he's like, you have to be willing to do that. And I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, no, I'm not deciding who I'm going to date because I want, like, what? This seems so crazy to me. And then we started looking at these contracts. And we were looking at the American Idol or Canadian Idol contract at the time, right? And so he's like, we were reading it, and he said, this is why I recommend that you never go on one of these shows, because he said we read it in the contract. It says they can say anything about you in print. You wear whatever they want you to wear. You say whatever they want you to say in interviews. You become the person they want you to become to infinity. To infinity. There's not a 5-year contract. There's not a 10-year contract. They own you. They can say anything about you in your family. And I was like, so I'm putting myself out there that they can tell me what to do, and I'm now their robot, and like I'm dressing however they tell me to do. And so go ahead, like, please tell me.
You become a product. You become their merchandise. So a lot of people, and think about it, y'all, if people are listening, you're talented, and even young ladies, if you want to get into this, and young men, you have to understand that you're talented. You need to be confident in who you are. You need to be confident that, no, I don't have to sleep around with the manager, the bodyguard, the security, because they'll try to get you to do it. They'll try to get you to do it. But you.
Oh, you're muted. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, I missed your last sentence.
Sorry, I said you become their merchandise. Mariah.
Right. And so, this is the thing when we work from home, right? And I know it's all good. I'm so happy. She's so adorable, by the way. And I think that the naivety of people that go into that industry and get wrapped up in it, get wrapped up in the drugs, get wrapped up in the sex, get wrapped up in that whole thing because they want it so bad, right? Because they want it so bad. And I think that so often they don't realize that if they become have you seen people become famous on TikTok? Like, if you are somebody that is talented and you stick to being who you are, right? And you hold yourself to a higher standard, like that's what branding is all about. And we do business differently now than we did back then. And there's a bigger opportunity for people now. So let's talk a little bit about what you do now and how you help people now.
Yeah, so just start from that. I got involved. Like I was one of those women that I got involved with drinking. I drank like every day because for one, the parties, the drinking was free for me. You know, for the women is free. I started to smoke weed every day. I got up, smoked the weed, went to bed, never was sober. And then I had a change of heart after Hurricane Katrina going down there with Joyce Meyer's ministry church. And I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm doing is leading to destruction. If I keep going like this, I'm going to either end up a junkie or, somebody like with HIV and AIDS, because it's like you get attached to the lifestyle. I even got into some orgies, you get attached to that fast, everyday lifestyle as a party. Like you see on video, it becomes like that at night. But during the day, you're dealing with depression, suicide. So basically, what I do now is I only work for people who are making a positive impact. I only work with people, nonprofits, people. I have this event I'm helping with called the Little Black Dress, where they help women who have come out of domestic violence, survive different type of stuff, single mom, they survive. So now I work with nonprofits, and I wrote a book about it, The Force Behind the Stars.
Right. And so in your book, you talk about how you evolved through this lifestyle and who you've become in the process. And so can you talk a little bit about like the advice that you would give somebody if they were looking to be in the entertainment industry right now?
Yeah, I always say you have to have a good manager. You have to have a manager who believes in you, who's not going to try to sell you out for, I always like, especially if I see women in the music industry, I always like to take them under my wing and like, because I know the wolves out there. You know what I mean? So you have to have a manager who loves you like a mom, not someone who's gonna just make sure you. I don't know if y'all seen the new Elvis movie, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to see it. Yeah, and like his manager kept drugging him up just so he can be on stage. Elvis could have lived long life, but every time Elvis would get sick, the doctor would get paid to just give him whatever, just so his body could do the show. Wow. And they don't really care about the person; they care about the $50,000 million that's coming in. So you need a manager who actually cares about your health, your mental health, and people who are not a yes man around you. So you can really make it for real.
Yeah. And, it's so funny because artists, creative people, they really do struggle with that confidence piece, don't they? They really struggle because they're constantly wanting feedback on what they're doing because they want to get better. But sometimes that feedback beats them up. Like sometimes they take it personally. So that personal growth, that personal development is so important when and like, this could be public speaking. This could be, this could be dance. This could be anything. I mean, even when you're building a brand on social media, you're opening yourself up, and like, don't be somebody that you're not. Don't, show up in a bathing suit because you want attention from people, right? Show up with value. Be somebody that somebody wants to listen to and have the confidence to do that, right?
Yes. And oh my gosh, I love this. This is my favorite passion subject because I always tell the women, I said, when we come into the entertainment industry, we're already on the losing side. So we have to work even harder. We have to make sure that we don't get it through sexual alluring, We have to make sure that our dress is not cut low, because that's why you get the position as a secretary or as an R&R. We have to work so much harder. So like you said, do it with integrity. Do it with letting them know that you're really smart. You're just not there to show off your butt. Especially with Instagram and Snapchat, everybody wants to twerk. Everybody wants to show that they're beautiful. And that's fine. That's fine. But however you come in, like Kim Kardashian, that's the way you're going to be represented.
That's right. And what's so crazy is like everybody looks at Kim Kardashian. She's like, I don't know if she's already completed it, but she's in law school. She is like one of the most brilliant women, but people see her as a sex symbol, right?
Yeah, it's so sad because they exposed her on that sex tape.
Yeah.
So that's how she can. And I felt it hurts my heart because after that, you remember for nothing else.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And
in the men's mind.
Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit too, because here's the thing, like to be able to move through this issue, what do we need to do? We need to create conscious and confident kids, right? Like I'm so dead set on my daughter being so confident in who she is that she only makes decisions based on what she wants. And like sometimes that works in my favor and sometimes not, right? But like you are also getting into writing kids books right? Which I think is so freaking cool. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I saw a need. I was started to counsel some people, some celebrities, and I saw a need. Everything went back to childhood.
Yes.
All the trauma, all the bullying, it went back to childhood where their image was first twisted, and now they think that they're ugly, even though they're beautiful. Dimples, beautiful. So I wrote this book called "Accepted for Me."
I love it.
And it goes back. I want to tell it. I want to give it out to the libraries, elementary, middle school, where they talk about long legs, you're accepted. They talk about if you have long hair, if you have a long nose, if you have a short nose, dimples, big eyes, small eyes, brown skin, light skin, Yeah. So for me, and that's by me, Esther Jones, the author. So
I love it. And can people get it on Amazon?
It'll be on Amazon, I believe, before October 1st is the release date.
Oh, awesome. Well, I would love to support you in that.
Yeah, it's done and everything. I just got to get the cover done.
Okay, well, make sure when you bring it out October 1st that you send me a link, because I'd love to shout you out. I'd love to share it in my media. I'd love to support you in that, because I think that's where it starts. It starts at home with our kids. And you're right. It all starts with childhood trauma, and it could be something so small, but our little brains compute it in a different way. And so as parents, the one thing that we can do is just build confidence in our kids so they never feel like they have to give up who they are or what they believe to get something that they want. I think that's so important.
No, it's lovely. It's perfect. You got it. And I know me, I know when I got into the entertainment industry, the reason why I'm going to counseling now is because my mom and dad, which are dad now, but they never praised me when I did wrong, just for who I was. They only praised me if I got all A's. Yep. So it made me accomplish driven.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like sometimes when our children don't do right, we also need to praise them and say, you're still mine and you're still a good person, even though you flunked out the test, even though you didn't get the football team or the cheer team.
And I think it was that generation of parenting too. They thought the harder they were on us, the better off we'd be, the stronger we'd be. But really, it just killed our confidence. Really, it just took away all of those things that made us who we are, and tried to hide them because we were too loud, we were too much, we were, all those other things. And so I'm so grateful to have this conversation with you. I think it's so important. I think so many people will be able to relate to that, and hopefully it'll hit home for some of you in that you are talented enough. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You can actually, in creative ways, get what you want. And if you're persistent until, you'll create the life that you want. So Esther, I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. If people want to have a conversation with you, where can they find you?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's Esther Jones, ESTHERJONES _ Twitter, same thing. Facebook, it's Esther Jones. Snapchat, Esther Jones. Everything's Esther Jones across the board. And if you want to look at my books or find out, I'm open for speaking engagement, women empowerment conferences. You can do that way too. Or book EstherJones@gmail.com. But my book, The Force Behind the Stars, is by Esther R. Jones. That's about the entertainment industry, what we were talking about, The Force Behind the Stars. And then the other one is coming up, my children's book. I got 2 other books. One more is called I'm Not Crazy, and that deals with mental illness and anxiety and schizophrenia. I tell my story about living with my dad that was a schizophrenic.
Oh, wow.
Some mental health challenges because of all the stress and of life, Wow.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I look forward to both of those and reading a little bit more about you, but thank you so much for sharing today. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys got something out of this. And if you did, make sure that you drop her a line or drop me a line. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Until next time, bye for now. If you think this video can help a friend, make sure you share it.